I know you guys don't care, but this is super exciting for me because I figured out a couple different settings on my camera, and I also figured out how to attach my external microphone to my camera. So hopefully the audio and the visual settings are a little bit better. Aside from that, let's just get into the video. Hey guys, how you doing? You guys know I've been going towards a more minimalist lifestyle, and it's been about a year or so that I've been gravitating towards this new lifestyle. And I wouldn't call myself a minimalist. I feel like it's more like intentional living. I think there's a YouTuber that I was watching, and that's the term she used. I'm just a little bit more aware of what I'm bringing into my home, things that I'm purchasing. And yes, I am trying to be low waste as well, but that's not what this video is about. This is about things that I just saw in the past year that I've been slowly not buying or buying a lot less, and so that's what this video is about. So I have 15 items that I have stopped purchasing or drastically reduced, and I know everybody's list is different, and it's 2018, and I need to have a disclaimer to be like, just because I stopped buying it doesn't mean you have to stop buying it. It's just a way for you guys to think about things in your home. Maybe one or two of these are areas that you're like, you know what, I could probably stop buying those too. So we are just gonna get into this video, but before we do, I would love for you to subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. I am having a lot more content to come. I'm so excited, especially if this new setting works, because I think the audio, because usually this room is super echoey. Anyways, again, you don't care. Let's just get started with the 15 items that I've stopped buying. Number one, and this is a little bit more recently, is one-time use beauty products. So that is sheet masks or facial wipes or razors. So I know razors aren't like one-time use, but you do throw them away after their life cycle, and instead I got like a safety razor, which is metal, and then you can just recycle the little razor part, which I think is really cool, and it gets a really close shave. So if you haven't invested in a safety razor, I'm so excited about it because the replacements are so cheap. Also, sheet masks, you're not going to see long-term results, or at least I don't, because you buy them once and then it's just like an instant fix, and then you just throw it away, which is super wasteful. And then facial wipes, I have just switched over to using a face cloth. Like, who would have thunk it, right? So I just have switched to using like a washcloth, and my skin has actually been liking it because it's a lot less chemicals on my face, and I'm actually like removing things from my face. Also, for makeup, I have been buying a lot less. This is not a number or anything, but I have drastically reduced the amount of makeup that I'm buying and the just beauty stuff in general, but especially one-time use things, I have completely stopped purchasing. Number two is weird health items. Dave and I are always trying to find like the quick fix to get us skinny, and it really doesn't work that way. It took a long time to put this on. It's not going to be an instant result. So I really had stopped buying like weird fitness items, like things that are just like one area specific, or you think it's really cool and I get really excited about it, and I stopped using it after like a couple months. And I now just have a gym membership, I have a yoga mat, I have weights, and that's like all I really need for fitness. And just being consistent is what's gonna give results, not just doing it a couple times a week for 5 minutes and hoping that it works. Also, for nutrition, I have stopped getting into like weird diets. I know we tried keto for a little bit. That just didn't work for us. Like, we didn't feel very good, and it was very time consuming. And so I have just been keeping it simple, and I feel like that is the whole theme of this video, because I feel like if we just eat whole foods, we're consistent, we just avoid junk food, avoid sugar, that is how we are going to see results. So all the weird gimmicky fads that are going around, or things that I just like, ooh, that might work, I have just been avoiding altogether. Number three is spices for one recipe. I get so excited when I get cookbooks, and I do use cookbooks. I know a lot of minimalists don't, but I do use them, and I always feel really inspired when there's this one recipe and there's this one new spice that I've never tried before. And yes, it's exciting to find new cuisines, but I feel like I'm a lot more picky now when I purchase a new spice, especially since I just went through my cupboards and I realized I had spices I'd never even cracked open because I never made that recipe that I had bought the stuff for. So I am really particular with the spices, so I either try to find a couple different recipes that I can use that one with, or I try to find a substitute that I already have on hand and I don't have to go buy a new spice. So that way I don't have like 100 different spices, because they do expire. Spices and herbs kind of expire within like a year, and then after that they lose a lot of their flavor, just to let you know. I read that somewhere. Number 4 is excessive clothing. And at first I had things that were like special occasion clothing and then trendy pieces, but in general, clothing is an area that I've drastically reduced. I do have a capsule wardrobe, and that's been about 2 years now that I've had a capsule wardrobe. Super, super small. I have done a closet tour. If you want to see it up in the cards, that's where it's going to be. But I have just been stopped buying clothes. I love having a smaller wardrobe. It's super easy to get dressed. Everything's mixed and matched. And everything is good quality. I definitely think in the long term, so I think quality over quantity, because I have such few pieces. I need to wash them more often and they have to last a little bit longer. So I'm just really particular when I purchase clothing in general. I just love having a minimalist wardrobe. I know I'm wearing gray today, but my capsule wardrobe is actually very, very colorful. So I really do want to make a capsule wardrobe video so you can see a more minimalist collection that is not black and white. Literally. So let me know if you want to see that video. Number 5, so since Dave and I travel all the time, Souvenirs is an area that we have stopped purchasing a ton of, because we would get the t-shirt and the mug and the hat and like the little trinket, but now the only thing that we purchase is a magnet. And I know minimalists don't purchase magnets. We love our magnets. They are on our fridge. We look at them all the time. It reminds us of our trip. They're great conversation starters when you have people over, and they're just fun to look at. I love our magnets. I want to do like a magnet tour. I don't know if you'd be interested in that, because you can kind of see all the trips that we've gone on and all the quirky magnets that I have. I just love them. If we do have the hankering to buy another souvenir, it's something that we can use up. So usually it's like soaps or perfume, things that we can like use up and then we enjoyed it for the time being, but then it's not going to be stored or anything. Souvenirs is something that we are really good about not buying, and it saves us a lot of money, and we can put it towards the actual trip versus stuff that we're just going to collect in our home. Number 6 is excessive amounts of candles. Now I do buy maybe 1 or 2 candles per season, but I used to be that person that would go in Bath & Body Works and buy like 10 at a time, especially if they were on sale and maybe it's a new fall season and I just have to get all the different scents. And I would have so many that I couldn't burn through them during the season, and then I would just have them stored because the next season would come around and I no longer want the fall scents. So I am very good about only buying 1 or maybe 2 at a time, and I can't buy any more until those first ones are gone. So again, I also have a diffuser, so I always use essential oils, but sometimes you want that ambiance of a candle, or since we do live in a place where sometimes we do lose power for like windstorms or thunderstorms, we do have some candles on hand for like emergencies. However, I no longer have the desire to purchase like mass amounts of candles. Number 7 might be a little TMI, but I do not buy tampons anymore because I do use a menstrual cup. It's been over a year since I've switched over. I'm not looking back. It's definitely been a great experience for me. Well, I mean, as good of a experience a period can be, but I really have been loving the new change, and I no longer buy tampons, which saves a ton of money, a ton of waste, and I no longer have to store them. So that's awesome too, because I just have like 1 little cup. Well, I have 2 because I like to it's a whole process. If you want a separate video on what it's been like for the past year, I can do that type of video if you're interested. But yeah, tampons I no longer purchase. Number 8 is accessories. So that's belts, hats, shoes, purses, scarves. I'm very selective with my capsule wardrobe that I don't want to have a bunch of accessories to kind of fill up the space. I know some people like to have accessories because it kind of makes their wardrobe interesting. However, I normally don't wear them. I don't take the extra step to put on a belt or a scarf. And I know myself, and I'll probably take them off sometime throughout the day. I hate wearing belts. I hate wearing scarves that like get into food. If I'm wearing a scarf, it's usually just to keep warm. So I'm very selective when it comes to accessories. I have 1 purse, 1 backpack, 1 wallet, 1 scarf. I don't own any belts, and I have like 4 pairs of shoes. So less for accessories. I don't buy any hair accessories anymore because this is usually how my hair is. So accessories I don't purchase anymore. Number 9, this is very appropriate for this time of year, and that is office supplies. I would totally get sucked into back to school shopping because having a whole set of pens for $1 or lots of sheets of paper for super cheap or 10-cent notebooks, I would get a crap ton, but then they would just sit there in my office and I don't use them fast enough to get a ton of them. So I have like 1 really nice notebook that I love to use. I have a couple pencils that I purchased that were, again, quality over quantity. So I'd rather have like 2 nice pencils and 2 nice pens versus like a ton. And this is where the low impact mindset has been helping me, because I used to always think like it's okay if I lose a pen because I can always just use another one because I have so many. I don't mind throwing away a pen if I lose it or have, it was just a mindset that I'm glad I'm out of, because that's so wasteful. So now I have just like 1 or 2 really nice things, and I put them back when I'm done. So that way I always know where they are, and I just take care of the things that I have now, because I feel like I've just in general invested more time and money into those products. So I want to make sure that they have a good lifespan. Number 10 is seasonal decorations. So just think about it. For Easter, you have like Easter baskets and all the things that you incorporate with Easter, and you store them 11 out of the 12 months. Sometimes Easter baskets, like the actual basket, you only use for like 1 day, maybe a couple days, and then you store it for the rest of the year. So that just takes up so much storage, and it's all stuff usually you can't like recycle or anything. I just don't have the need to constantly get like new things into my home to make it look like the season. And that's where candles kind of come in, because if I do feel the need to maybe want to have more of a fall vibe or want more of a summer vibe, I normally just get like a summery candle or a wintry type of essential oil mix that will make me think of the season. But I just don't need crap in my house because I know I'm gonna have to store it later. The only area that I do own seasonal decorations is Christmas, but I feel like that's a longer time, because for me I start at like November 1st and then go until like mid-January. So there's a decent amount of time that those decorations are out. And I don't have a Christmas tree anymore. We used to, but I don't know, maybe in the future we might actually like get one that's in a pot. We're still thinking on that one. But it's just so much stuff to store and move, and it only gets used for a little bit of time. So number 11 is cleaning products for very specific places. So I have a whole underneath the sink worth of random places that I need cleaning products, and since I discovered low waste living, I realized I don't need all of those. I'm just trying to use them up. But I just don't see the need to have like a stovetop cleaner and then an oven cleaner, and then the cleaner because the stovetop is glass and you need like a specific cleaner, and then you need the microwave cleaner, and then you need the cleaner for the counter and the fridge and the floor, and then you have granite floors and wood floors, and there's so many different versions of everything. Again, I have been just making it simple. I have an all-purpose cleaner. I use vinegar and water for windows. There's also a ton of DIY cleaning products online, so in the future I do want to really make my own. But yeah, cleaning products in general, I just drastically reduced, and there's no need to have a specific thing for every specific thing. Number 12 is jewelry. I used to work in fashion retail where I would get a ton of cheap jewelry, like big costumey things, and switch it up all the time. And I realized that with my capsule wardrobe being so classic, I feel like my style has just become more classic, and I'd much rather grab a couple pairs of earrings that I truly love and wear all the time. And if I lose them, I feel like, again, I've invested a little bit more money, a little bit more time picking them out, that I will look for them if I lose them and fix them if they're broken. And I, again, have quality over quantity, so instead of getting like the pack of like 12 pairs of earrings, because there's the one pair that you really want, you don't mind throwing away the rest, which is so wasteful. I now just like purchased one really nice pair of earrings. I got it from a local shop. I wear them all the time. They're my silver little hoops that I wear all the time. And then I have like my wedding ring, my engagement ring. I have a like Pandora bracelet. But they're things that actually have meaning to me. So like this necklace here, Dave got me on like one of our first holidays together. So this was like when we were first dating, and like of course my wedding ring, it means something, and then all of these mean something. So I just no longer buy jewelry in general, but especially like the mass amounts of jewelry, like the little value packs. I don't really need a value pack of earrings, because just having a nice pair of simple hoops just makes any look just like amped up a little bit. Number 13 is plastic Tupperware. I have definitely been the person who would get like the giant pack of Rubbermaid or Glade, where you get like 20 different types of Tupperware that are all different sizes for every different thing. And I have since invested in some nice glass pieces. I also have a couple metal pieces, and I only have a few of them. So if I misplace them, I'm gonna look for them, or I used to be the person who would have like really gross food in my fridge, and if it's in a plastic container, I don't mind throwing it away because I'd much rather just throw it away than clean it. Is anyone else like that? So instead, I do have the nice glassware, and I do take the time to actually like clean out the stuff because again, I spend a little bit more money on it, and those pieces are awesome. They don't leak. They're awesome to put into the microwave. Well, not the metal ones, but I just again have invested a little bit more into those pieces that I don't see the need to buy like mass amounts of different sizes, because I just again keep it simple. I just have a few pieces that work for me, and it's just been saving me a ton of money and a ton of clutter in the cabinets. Also in the kitchen is number 14, and that has one purpose use kitchen gadgets. So I, even as little as like 6 months ago, I bought a sushi set. And when I was cleaning up my cupboards, I found that sushi set and never used it. And I feel like that was the last product that I purchased that was like very specific to a cuisine, or it's like a cooking essential that you have to have, but it only does like one thing, or they claim that it does a bunch of different things, and then you realize like you don't want to put an effort to make all these different things, and then you just have a bunch of crap in your kitchen that you don't use and that you don't need, and you could easily substitute any of those products with just like knives and just like being a little bit more creative. So kitchen gadgets, I have stopped purchasing. That sushi set was probably the last straw for me because it sounded like such a good idea, but making sushi is really expensive and you get way more like stuff than you need. So we just go to sushi if we really want it. And then the last one, maybe very specific to me, but it is store specific reusable bags. I am from San Diego, where you have to purchase reusable bags or they charge you for plastic. And so every store has their own. Ralph's, Sprouts, Target, Walmart, they all have their own reusable bags. And I always felt inclined to purchase the store specific ones. It is all in my head. I understand this, but I would have one for all those different stores, and I would always felt weird if I went into the store with a different store's bag, like if I went into Sprouts but with a Ralph's bag. I know they really don't care, but the thing about those types of bags, they don't last very long. They're usually like made out of plastic and then they break, and I feel like they almost make them to be disposable even though they're supposed to be reusable. Now when I moved to Mississippi, I had a whole closet of those type of reusable bags that I never used because the only two that I really use are the ones that are collapsible and generic. I can go into any store, they're super convenient, and they have been lasting me forever. So my little fox that I've had, I've showed it in a few different videos already, but he has, it's a boy apparently, but that little fox bag I got in San Diego at a little tiny shop, and I've had it for like 2 years, and I use it all the time. It fits in my purse, and I just save so much hassle and money buying more reusable bags. And again, I know it's in my head. I don't think stores care, but isn't it just a little awkward? So that is it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Maybe one or two of these are areas that you could improve on. Things that you can kind of take a step back and realize, yeah, you're right, I really don't need that many. Or maybe you can find an alternative that's a little bit more sustainable in the future. I feel like that's where I have been going. It's like, instead of getting a bunch of crap ton of plastic Tupperware, I get a nice glass one that's gonna last me a little bit longer. So again, keeping it simple, quality over quantity is my thought process at the moment, and that's it for this video. I hope you found it enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching. Again, subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!